So I'd like to ask you a little bit more about more practical examples of what might happen during a business English lesson. Do you guys have any other examples of things that you do with your students, things that you work on? What does a business English lesson look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the most frequent requests I receive from students is assistance with writing emails. 9 times out of 10, when I'm doing that demo lesson with them, that initial meeting, it pops up every single time. That's one of the goals that they have. That's something they want to practice, is writing emails. I think this is because often it's the main form of communication in business. Everybody's sending a million emails back and forth to each other the whole day. And especially in current times, we're finding with the pandemic and remote work, email is going to be quite a big form of communication within the business environment. So, of course, this is sometimes a very daunting prospect for a second language speaker to have to do. I've personally noted, and my students agree when we've discussed it, that you can't always rely on translation tools to write effectively. So especially in English, tone, grammar, and wording are all really important when you want to get your point across. And what may sound polite and professional in one language, their native language, could come across impolite when you're using a translation tool. So this is just one example. I think we're going to look at our slide. This is just one example of a resource that I use to help my students. So if you have a look at it, we've got a piece of an email, like a text, and then little points around it that just highlight or show why this is not an ideal email to write in a professional setting. So I can use this. There's so many different uses for just this one example, depending on the level of your students. It can be a fun icebreaker, warm up in a lesson. You can block out the blue square parts and have them guess what is wrong with the email. And then, of course, you could have a look at a good example of a professionally written email and have them compare. And you can expand and take the lesson from there, just helping them, facilitating so that they can understand what looks good in English and what doesn't look good in English when you're looking at writing emails.